Testing. Hey guys, we are live. I believe so. All right, we're live. We're going to start in a few seconds. Hope everybody's doing well. See a couple people here already. And there's Charlotte. All right, right on cue. You're right on cue, baby. I tell you what, it's super windy out tonight here in the Charlotte area and chilly, really cold. Charlotte hears everything. You guys that were here with us the other day last week know that she hears everything, and more than likely there's somebody out there with a dog walking by and she hears them. Hey, Island Boy Camper, how you doing? God bless, brother. Thanks for tuning in tonight. How are things down south? Hopefully they're going well for you. I did talk to my brother Rocco earlier today. He said he was going to actually tune in tonight and check and see how my sound was and everything was coming over. But he also agreed to do a live show with me soon, very soon, to talk about NYPD and his time on the force, his 20 plus years on the force. Here's the star of our show tonight, my wife Barbie, coming over.
Oh gosh.
Cheryl Cooper, how are you doing? Wilkesboro, North Carolina. I know it well. Love it up there. I just cleaned the coffee pot. That's why you smell it.
Hi.
So Barbie's here, Island Boy Camper, Jodak Maccabeus, Off Grid and Everyday Survival. Shabbat Shalom, brother.
Hey,
How are
Cheryl
you?
Cooper from Wilkesboro, North Carolina. Great to have you.
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, you were talking about Shabbat Shalom.
I was just talking about that I spoke with Rocco today about doing a show on NYPD, his experiences there, and some of the corruption that's going on now.
Correct.
He's got a lot to say about it. So
He does.
and him being a former NYPD detective, sure he could share a lot with people.
I'm sure that
So yeah, that's going to be an upcoming show.
mm-hmm.
Let's see who else we have
Pretty
here.
windy here tonight.
Oh.
Pretty cold. How's it going in Wilkesboro?
Wilkesboro's got to be. It might even be snowing up there. Is it snowing there, Cheryl?
Snowing, Cheryl?
That's up. Pretty. It's just below Boone, so
Mm-hmm.
it's a little bit higher elevation there. So it's got a little bit different weather pattern than we do.
Mm-hmm.
Island Boy Camper said it's pretty cold for Florida. What's cold? 70?
Mm-hmm.
I wish I was back there
Yeah.
tonight.
I do too.
I took the dogs out right before we started here, and the wind it's got to be like 30-mile-an-hour gusts. I was like, you got to be kidding me.
What is the degrees here tonight?
I don't know. No, I don't know. I got to check the weather.
75 in Phoenix.
75 in
jealous,
Phoenix. Ouch, I'm jealous. 46 degrees here, it says, but the wind is like bone chilling.
It is. It really is. Phoenix, Arizona.
Yeah.
Van life.
Yep.
What's the beginning of that? Wait, no. What is it? How do you say that?
With Mike, EG30 Van Life.
Okay, so we're gonna call him Van Life.
Yeah.
Whiskey for Oscar Whiskey. Howdy.
Howdy. How you doing?
Speaking of which,
Thanks
we had
for
a great whiskey over Thanksgiving, right? That smoked whiskey.
Oh,
Yeah, it was really, really good.
We had over Thanksgiving a bottle. Well, we didn't drink the whole bottle. We almost drank the whole bottle.
We don't even drink, but that was a good.
Those of you that drink single malt, we had Lagavulin. I believe it was the 16-year or 12-year.
Correct.
Very strong. Strong's not a good word. It's smooth.
It was smoky.
But it's got a nice little bite to it.
It had a nice kick, but
it's great, great whiskey.
Really good. 55 in Pensacola.
A little bit warmer than here.
Yeah, but cold for Florida, right?
Well, Pensacola's up north.
I know, but nonetheless.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
anyhow, tonight, the topic of tonight's video, and in our last live video, we promised that we would report back to you guys after Barbie's appointment at Johns Hopkins Hospital in Baltimore. So we went there. We drove there from here on Tuesday of this week, and always hit rain and fog like we normally do. But we didn't hit a snowstorm, so that was good.
Right, that was even better.
It was.
There hasn't been one since then.
No.
Right.
Up there.
No storms since the one we hit. But we made it in good time. We actually had a pretty good trip. We even stopped, had coffee. And it was a good trip.
We have a favorite like halfway point where we stop. We get it's a Starbucks, so we get a Starbucks, get something to eat there, a little snack or something. And then right across the street's one of those big gas stations, like a big truck stop type gas station. And we fill up there, and then it takes us right into to DC. So yeah, we did that Tuesday. So we got there Tuesday evening.
Not even. We have a pretty set routine what we do. We don't really stop or get out of the car and then get gas and get coffee. So we get there at a good time. I don't think it was the evening. I think it was a couple of hours. I
think it was late afternoon when we got there.
We made good time though. So we had to get up and travel to Baltimore the next day at 8 in the morning.
Right.
Yeah.
But that trip wasn't so bad. So anyway, we woke up on Wednesday morning early. We had an 11:30 appointment at Johns Hopkins. So we didn't know how long it was going to take or how much traffic we were going to hit. So we left about 8, I think, for the 11:30 appointment. So it took us a little over an hour maybe with traffic to get there.
We made good time. But
we parked in.
I had a reserved spot.
Right.
And it was right by the door, which that's not a good sign when your spot is right next to the door.
This particular part of the hospital that does the radiation testing and all that stuff.
The radiation.
And that goes with it has parking spaces if you're a patient. I think there were I saw 5 or 6 or 8 spaces that said reserved for a radiation oncology patient. So we parked right there. It was right by the doors, and we got in and checked in, and they asked us for our orange card, which we didn't have. We registered. We got that.
We got that. We got our orange card and moved around the building, and
then we sat for a while.
Well, the woman that received us had said, well, maybe we could get you a little earlier, and that was super exciting. But then they came out and said that would not be happening because the anesthesiologist is on a set schedule. So we had to wait and do everything in order as it was scheduled. But that was fine. That was fine. So Whiskey 4 Oscar Whiskey, that's the radio call sign. Oh, I get it. Whiskey 4 Oscar Whiskey.
Nice.
Okay. And then Eduardo Power. God is in control, sir.
Amen.
Amen. God is in control.
Right.
I agree. God is in control. Definitely.
So the test that Barbie was going for on Tuesday, where you want to tell them what test you had in the order?
Well, overall, it's called a simulation appointment. This was all new to both of us. We didn't really understand any of it. But prior to getting radiation, based on your situation, they'll send you for a lot of tests. For instance, my tumor is very, very close to my optic nerve. So one of the additional appointments I needed was to see a neuro-ophthalmologist. And I also needed to get in contact with my endocrinologist to do a lot of blood work. And then we had the simulation, but everything takes time. It does take a village. It takes a village.
No, there's a great team they put together there.
Yeah, it takes a village. And the simulation appointment, what that does, it consists of getting a CT scan. And in my situation, I needed a mask made because my radiation will be done to my brain. So not everybody has to have a mask, of course. It all depends on what part of the body they have to administer the radiation. But because, as you would imagine, the importance of keeping your head
Perfectly still.
perfectly still, they make a mask. And so that had obviously given me a lot of anxiety leading up to this appointment. And the simulation is the making of the mask, a CT scan, which, from my understanding, is where they position your body for all your upcoming radiation treatments. And
So that's super important part of the process so they know where to aim the beams, radiation beams.
And after that, then I had a long MRI scheduled, but I'm highly claustrophobic. So they had arranged for an anesthesiologist to put me out because the MRI is quite long. And so before they brought me in for the mask, I was, had a lot of anxiety going on, so they gave me a 0.5
milligram of Ativan.
And I had not eaten for about 12 hours, right?
Well, I think longer than some more time to kick in. Maybe sometimes those. You've never taken Ativan, so sometimes they could hit you out of nowhere. You say it's not working. Next thing you know, you're droopy.
But I wasn't. I know I wasn't, and I thought I would be, but I was not. And so I waited a little longer, and they're getting closer to taking me. And I thought, Anthony, I'm not working. I'm feeling nothing, and they got to give me more of this. And so when the nurse came in, he told the nurse, who was a sweetheart, that I wasn't feeling anything. And so they said they'd get the doctor, and the doctor sat down and said, no, that's okay. That happens to a lot of people. We just like to start out with the lowest milligram. I
like to start you out at a low level, and then if they have to, work you up.
Right. She said, but we'll go ahead and we'll give you another one.
Another half. So
another half.
It ended up being 1 milligram or something like that. Yeah.
One. So they gave that to me, and I waited probably 10 minutes or so, and I said, "Oh, Anthony, I'm starting to feel."
Now I'm feeling it.
Yeah, I said, "Now I'm starting to feel this," and so I was really happy that I was feeling it, and they had to start an IV in my.
Starting IVs in Barbie's arm is like there's no veins. They always have a hard time. They usually bring like 2 or 3 people before they can get it, and she ends up being like a pincushion.
Correct.
And it hurts terribly, and it's just a whole big. I mean, every time
DR,
she has to get this done.
Ambulance. Nobody's ever gonna get it started.
So
we dread that.
So the anesthesiologist that was going to be by her when she was getting the CT scan, in case she couldn't tolerate the mask when they put the mold on her, was there to give her some doses of anesthesia to calm her down if needed, if the Ativan didn't work.
To knock me
out.
Yeah,
so this lady, this anesthesiologist lady, who was like, she was in her 60s, but super knowledgeable. You could tell when she was talking.
Yeah.
She grabs Barbie and just kind of finds a vein what, 2 seconds, and
Well, she said, oh, so she overheard the nurse saying, oh, I'm not really that good at this. Maybe I should get someone else. And I was like, yeah, maybe you should, because I wasn't in the mood for them not to find it.
mm-hmm.
And the anesthesiologist had come over and she heard and she said, oh, I'm good at this. And, I have a game that I play. And
I walked away at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Let her do her
That's the
thing.
last thing I wanted to do was play a game. And so next thing I know, she's like, just throw your arm over the side of the bed and let it dangle. And I'm thinking, she pulls up a chair, right? Sits right next to me, my arm's dangling. And she gets one of those blood pressure cuffs and she just starts putting it on my arm. And she said, now this is going to hurt just a little. And she's pumping and pumping and pumping. And I'm thinking that, my fingertips are going to explode and blood's just going to go everywhere because it was tight. And then on top of that, then she got like that rubber thing.
Yeah, the rubber
thing, and she put that below
band.
it. And I was like, okay, well, it kind of hurts. And she's, that's all right, just let it hang. And then she took the cuff off, and she kept repeating it until she got all the way down. They couldn't get veins here. And she was, oh yeah.
She got one here in your hand.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. She goes, I found a real nice one in your hand. And she goes, it's just going to pinch a little. Well, Lord knows I saw stars, but she did get it in on the first try.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah, and
which was unusual. That doesn't happen usually.
Right, she did it once. And so that was the beginning. And she was wonderful, and she was talking to me about ways that I can calm down to avoid her having to knock me out during the making of the mask. That I should try everything that I possibly could, whether it be breathing, any technique I could think of, so to avoid that. And I really.
But her and her assistant, her and her partner were going to be there in case Barbie was going to freak out when they put the mask on your face. It's like a gel, right? Like a soft gel.
On what?
When they put the mask on first, before it molds you, it's soft.
No, what? They put gel on my face?
No, the mask is soft like a gel.
No, No, that's not it, Aunt. Not at all.
Okay.
He wasn't listening.
That's not it. I wasn't listening.
So they wheeled me in. I had a whole team with me, and I was calling.
Oh, she did, yeah.
Yeah, and they would say, we're your whole team, and I would call them Team Barbie, and there was about 6 of them, and they took me off the soft bed and put me on a very hard board and said, no, we're really sorry, but this is the board that you'll have for radiation. But I was fine with it. It was very hard. And then they were situating my head and just doing a lot of situating. And then the anesthesiologist started putting on the monitors, and, the IV was going to, get me some energy. And they said, typically, if you're having a mask made, you would not have that. You would not get all the monitors and all the things that I did. So if you're out there and you would have to get a mask, I don't want you to think that you would have all this hookup.
Right.
That was in case I had a panic attack and they needed to.
Because of your history of being claustrophobic.
Right. They needed to assist me. And then after that, they were very kind, would hold my hand and, talk to me. And then they moved the table. I never had a CAT scan, a lot of MRIs, but I never had a CT. And I felt like I was halfway through the big donut. But then at that point, I just knew that I had to close my eyes to get myself ready. And, and then in my peripheral vision, I saw like a large plastic, but 2, I don't know if they were handles or what, but there were 2 nurses doing it. And they said, okay, well, we're going to put this into a warm bath and it's going to soften it. And we're going to tell you when we're ready and ask if you're ready. And when we do, we're going to work really quick. We're going to put this over your face and we're going to, press it kind of like you would put on a face mask and mold it to your face. But, stay there very still. And so the lady put some music on for me on her iPhone. And I laid there, and so now they moved me a little bit, and I knew everybody was in place, and I heard them from I heard them from behind. They said, "Okay," very sweetly, and they came up behind me and they said, "Are you ready?" And I had my eyes closed, and I said, "Yes." And as I felt them coming closer to me, I said, "No, no, no, please, no, I'm not ready. I'm not ready." And they stopped, and then some people came over and said, "Oh," they were so kind to me. "Okay, so why are you, what is it that you feel like you're not ready?" I said, "Well, you never told me. What are you going to do? Like after you do the math, like after you."
They didn't give you like a heads up?
They probably did, but I
maybe you didn't hear
there
it?
was so much information, and I was nervous. I'm sure that they did. I said, "What are you going to do after that mask is on my face?" And they explained it to me, and I knew everybody was like positioned. So I said, "Okay," I took a deep breath and I just prayed. I prayed very hard, and I closed my eyes, and they said, "Are you ready?" And I said, "Yes." And like in a split second, I had two very skilled and qualified professionals put this warm plastic mesh sheet over me, and as soon as they did, it stretched, and I could feel the holes opening. And one nurse said, "Okay, Barbie, don't worry, we're making your eyes. You'll be able to open your eyes and see out of it." But my eyes were closed, so I did not care if they made those holes or not at that time. I just remained calm with my eyes closed, and I felt them pushing, and they were very gentle, but they worked so quick. It was amazing to me how they just did it around my face. And it's not a mask like Halloween. It came all the way down and around. And as soon as they got a good, a good form to my face, this is what the very scary part is, that my head went back, because I felt the back of my head. But I think they locked that down, and 2 lockdowns on the side. And I felt it getting tighter and tighter and harder and harder, but they were very gentle. And I just closed my eyes, and I just kept singing over and over again. So that's not my mask.
This isn't Barbie's mask, but this is what it looks like. It's like a mesh mask, goes over your whole head, and then it bolts down to the table. That's a sample that we looked at last time we were there.
Why does it say that? I'm able to connect to the chat. Please try again later.
I don't know. We're on.
See if you could.
We're on. No, we're on.
Okay, but just see if you can say something. If you can. Hi, Redbird. I just see you. Yep. Thank you very much. Okay.
Yeah, thanks. Working. Thanks, brother. So, love you too.
I appreciate it.
So,
so the mask, it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt at all. It's warm. It's not, it's not anything that, if you're not claustrophobic, that you should be afraid of. It's all part of the process, and they're just highly qualified, and they did it quick, and that was it. And the next thing I know, there was somebody talking to me from behind the glass, saying, "Okay," and just leading me through it. And what really helped was telling me the minutes, like, you're okay, just, we're going to put you back in 2 more minutes. And then I believe it was 2 of the nurses came out. My eyes were closed, but I could smell permanent marker, and they must have reached in and they were marking my mask, which it felt like the movement was X's, and I felt them doing it, and they were working very quickly. And then they left, and he said, "Okay, we have 2 more minutes." And I just really grabbed onto every word that he said with minutes, and then I just surrendered. I couldn't keep up, and I just breathed. And in my mind, typically when I'm in those situations, I just sing it as well with my soul. and it gives me, comfort, and it gives me the peace of Jesus. And for some reason, I close my eyes, and I think it's River Valley Worship. They have a song, Hope Has a Name. And that's the song. Although I thought I was singing it, I must have been humming it because they shut the music in there. And I just worked my way through it with Hope Has a Name, and his name is Jesus. And that's how I received the peace that I needed to get through this. And then the next thing I knew, they were pulling me out on the board, and they were coming out, and I heard them unclicking the mask, and then I heard them say it's still a little warm, and they went and got like cold sponges, and they were going over the mask. They said it's still a little warm, we need to harden it. And really quick, they just did it. They were just really, really quick, and the next thing you know, it was hard, and they were unlocking me from the board, and I would have to tell you that tears just streamed down my eyes because I was so proud of myself that I thought that's something I could never, ever do. And I didn't.
And I was in the waiting room. They didn't allow me back there, but I was in the waiting room just praying, saying, oh, I just let her let her be able to wear the mask long enough so we could get this made. And because everything hinges on this. All future treatments are, the mask is the main thing that needs to be done. And
it is.
if she wasn't able to do it,
it is.
It wouldn't have been good.
Right.
So it's just a miracle that you got through it.
It was. And like I said, I just finally couldn't keep up with how many minutes, and I just took
But all told,
breath.
what was it? Under 15?
Well, he came out and he said, Barbie, you did so good. You did it. We only needed about 11 and a half minutes, and you did it. But your treatment, you'll need to have that mask on for 15 minutes. So you'll just have it on a little longer, but you could do this, and you did great, and you're going to continue to do great. They were just very, very encouraging, and I couldn't have asked for a better team, a better hospital, for better treatment, kind and understanding. And I'm not a baby. I'm not a drama queen by any stretch of my drama queen. Trust me, I have 3 brothers. There was no time in my life to be a drama queen. But claustrophobia is a fear, and it's real, and it's valid. So to be able to do that, it was by the grace of God Himself, and I was just very proud of myself. And from there, they wheeled me into the next room. All the rooms were in order. Although the one young man came out from behind to meet me. He said, "I'm sorry, I was a little late. Everybody got to meet you on the team, but me, and he introduced himself. And I must have said, 'Where's my husband?' And he said, 'Oh, I'm sure that your husband is in one of the rooms.'" And so he was talking to me, and I must have interrupted him again. I said, "Well, can I see my husband? Is my husband here?" And he came over, and he said something about, "You must really love your husband," or something. I can't even remember. I was a little bit groggy. And I said, "Well, I just want my husband to be with me." And he said, "Oh, are you married a long time?" I said, "Yes, I'm married a very long time." I said, "We're going to be married 33 years, and I'm with my husband since I'm 19. I said, we're together a very long time.
That's
and
4 years.
Yeah, I said, "I just want my husband. Could you get him for me?" He says, "I will." And then he looked at me, he goes, "But could you tell me something?" He said, "What's your secret?" And I said, "My secret?" My secret? I said, "Well," I I don't think it's a secret." And he said, "Well, how do you do it? How do you stay, married that long?" I said, "Well, I don't know." I said, "I guess forgiveness, I guess respect." I said, "You know what?" I said, "My answer is Jesus, because it's only because of Jesus that we're still together, because there's so many flaws and imperfections and challenges and trials in a marriage that
Mm-hmm.
I believe that without Jesus and his word and what he says about, marriage, saves us. And so it was a sweet conversation,
Yeah.
and I ended up not getting to see you. So he tricked me, and I got wheeled into the
He just
MRI.
wanted to know your secret.
Yeah, he just wanted my secret, and I didn't even have a secret. So pretty much the mask was the challenge of the day. And today I was just...
And then she had it right after that. She had to be put under, and then had the MRI under anesthesia.
Mhm.
And then during that process, I seen the nurses come out, running out. They briefed me on her getting the mask made and that she got through it. So I was like, oh, thank you, Lord, for that. And then their system broke down or something in the hospital, where Barbie was going to have to go from the second lower level up to 3 to recover, and they couldn't get word up to the upstairs because the system was down, and they told me she has to recover downstairs, and they changed it to upstairs. So it all ended up she ended up going upstairs to recover from the MRI, from the anesthesia. So they took me up there. I waited about a half hour from there, and then they let me come back when she was up, and we waited about another... You were a little nauseous from the anesthesia, so they gave her some nausea medicine in her IV, and then got her dressed, and about a half hour later we were discharged and on our way back to her brother's house.
Yeah, yeah.
Which was from the hospital to where we were going. It was raining, foggy, that drizzle rain that you have to like put your wiper on, but then you have to shut it. You have to put it on. It was 5:30 in the afternoon, rush hour in downtown Baltimore, going through where Camden Yards is and getting on 395. And it took us about 2.5 hours in the car with no food, because we didn't want to stop in the city. There was nowhere to park or anything. We didn't know where we were going. So
I had
2.5 hours eating saltine crackers, getting through traffic, and then we got to her brother's and pigged out on some pizza.
Yeah, 2 hours and 19 minutes, but it should have only been like an hour, I think.
Yeah, it was probably like
But it worked. It all worked, and then we made it home, and so that's...
And we spent the night there, and then
we
made it home. Yesterday was Thursday. Made it home yesterday afternoon, which was bright and sunny.
Yeah.
Drive. So I went back to work today, and we figured that tonight we weren't planning on doing a live, but we promised people from last week we would give you an update, and this is it. And also, Barbie wanted to do something, because when she was going through this, looking at getting the mask made, she was looking for videos to help her, somebody that went through it, to give them encouragement or to tell them the process. So we're making this more so not just to go live, but for people like Barbie that have to go through this, or maybe getting ready to go through it now, that they'll be able to watch this and maybe get some comfort, and they can reach out to us too, and we'll be more than willing to help them through it now that she's been through it. And so her treatment dates, they gave us her treatment dates. They start on March 11th. So on March 11th, we'll go through possibly definitely 28 treatments, up to 33 treatments. So between 5 weeks and 6 weeks, maybe. 5 days a week and weekends off.
6 or 7 weeks.
6 or 7 weeks?
Yeah.
Okay.
6 or 7 weeks.
6 to 7 weeks total. So we'll be leaving here and going up there for that period of time.
Right.
We'll have the doggies with us, so we'll be
there.
We'll be there starting. So when she's going through the actual radiation treatments, they're only about 15-minute treatments a day. This will be at the Sibley campus, which is in Washington, D.C. It's a new campus they have there, and the new facility they have there. It's beautiful facility.
Beautiful.
And so that'll be like a 15-minute treatment a day at a certain time, every day, 5 days a week, and weekends off. And so we're hoping, to get through that. And while we're doing that, we'll try to do some live feeds to give you her updates on how she's feeling, if she's having any, reaction or side effects to the radiation.
Which vary.
And so we ask, our friends on YouTube and subscribers to pray for Barbie and while she's going through this. And, we're hoping that this will help others too in the future, based on our experience.
Yeah. If I can get through it, anybody can get through it, because it was very difficult for me, and I did it. And I do believe that I think anybody can do it. They're allowed to be afraid and fearful, but you'll get through it, and you're not alone. The teams are amazing, and they'll give you something to help you if you need it. But you have to have it when you're getting treatment to your brain. There's no way around that. It's only for your own safety. The last thing you want would be radiation going somewhere in your brain it shouldn't be going, for obvious reasons. So, so I did it, and now we'll move on to the treatments. And the honest truth is I was exhausted today. I didn't feel good. I still feel exhausted. And I think it's the mix between anesthesia and the Ativan
and traveling
and
pressure,
the stress
rather. Yeah.
And so today I didn't feel good at all, but I kept moving and wanted to go in bed all day, but I did not. So that's my story for today, and figured we'd give you an update. And that's it for that. That's it for that. And so I know that we were also talking about the virus, and
we'll do that
like
maybe this weekend, or I'll go on again live and we'll talk about the coronavirus or something else. Maybe the episode with my brother Rocco, maybe tomorrow night or Sunday. We'll do that if I can get a hold of him. And anybody has any questions or comments, please feel free. And we wanted to do this to help others also tonight and get it out there. So thank you for tuning in tonight on short notice. And again, blessings to everybody. And we look forward to doing more live videos with you guys. So again,
anyone wants to talk about anything else maybe that's outside of what we planned, let you know, and you can chat about that.
Yeah, feel free to comment what future episodes you want to see, and we'll take it from there. Okay. Thank you guys, and God bless. Stay ready, stay safe. Anthony and Barbie signing off. Take care.
And something